If you're a Christian and you ever find yourself in a situation where you can have a conversation with a Muslim about their faith, or if you find yourself on the defensive with a Muslim pressing into you about your faith, simply remember these three numbers: 5, 4, 6. Think of an old mobile phone, right? And the key layout. Or even your computer, the computer keypad and the layout of the numbers to remember these three. Start in the middle, there's the 5. Then to the left, there's the 4. And then finally 6 to the right. Now this refers to Surah 5, verse 46 in the Qur'an. What this verse essentially says is that the Gospel and the Torah is affirmed by Muhammad and the Qur'an in the 7th century. Here's what it says: "And we sent, following in their footsteps, Jesus, the son of Mary, confirming that which came before him in the Torah. And we gave him the gospel, in which was guidance and light, and confirming that which preceded it of the Torah as guidance and instruction for the righteous." So what do you actually do with this information in a conversation with a Muslim? Well, I spent about an hour and a half at the Dawah Street Toronto Muslim tent at the Strawberry Festival, waiting for the main guy to answer a simple question. What exactly was that was being confirmed? This gospel of the 7th century, which was between their hands, present, what was it? And for an hour and a half, I kept pressing him on it, and he couldn't answer me. He tried telling me exactly what every Muslim believed about their faith in general, which simply wasn't an answer to my question. The reason he couldn't answer me was because he knew we have manuscripts that predate Islam by hundreds of years, like the Codex Sinaiticus and the Codex Vaticanus, and the main tenets of Christianity found in these codices and our Bible today are still the same, like the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus, Jesus calling God Father, the Torah referring to God as Father, the Trinity, Jesus being the beginning and the end, Jesus being the one who will be the judge, and in Islam, it's Allah who are these things, no one else, which clearly show the divinity of Jesus in comparison. So here's the thing. If Muhammad is affirming both the Torah and the Gospel in the 7th century, and we have manuscript evidence predating that period, as well as evidence of what the 7th century Christians and Jews believed around the Arabian Peninsula, the Muslims face a dilemma, and they have no choice but to say they have been corrupted. But the question is when? Was it before Muhammad and the Quran affirmed them, or after? Now, if they say before, then why would Allah affirm corrupted scriptures? And why would Allah tell the Jews and Christians to judge by what they have? Now, they might jump to Surah 2 verse 79 to say that the Quran says the Torah was corrupted. But this disagrees with their classical scholars and the tafsir, which simply states it was only a small group who took the Torah, wrote a new version with changed words in it, and tried to sell it for personal gain. Now, while I was at this Dawah Street Toronto tent, this is exactly what he said to me. So I called him out on it. I told him what his classical scholars would say about this, and then posed an analogy for him. I said, if I take your Quran that's on this table and I write a couple of extra paragraphs onto it, and I change some of the words and I reprint it and I sell this new version, does that then therefore mean the entire Quran has been corrupted? Well, he said no. And I explained to him how this is exactly what is mentioned in the Quran, because the only way they could have known that a group changed the words for personal gain to sell is if they had the original to compare it to see that they were being added to. You see, trying to throw this verse at you does not change the fact that the Quran affirms the Torah and Gospel a whopping 21 times in the Quran, specifically present with them, written between their hands, and they are told to judge by it. Allah even asks Muhammad, why do they come to you for judgment when they have the Torah? So once again, remember the three numbers, 5, 4, 6, and simply ask them, what was it that was being affirmed in your book that was with them between their hands, and see what they say. There are way more verses, but start out with memorizing just this one for now, 5, 4, 6. If you want more Christians seeing this, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also support my ministry by checking out my Christian merchandise, my Apologetics course, and my Patreon page. Have a good one.